Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Radio Nordlandia. André Hans van Bremen speaking. Nordlandia is a code name for a project of new neoconservative.
I would like to present you what I named my basic trilogy for an holistic North European world vision. I propose you here clearly three actions to do. The main keystone of my project Nordlandia is a book written in 1991 by a French man that was general manager of a very big insurance company and boss of a union of French business leaders. His book, named Capitalism Against Capitalism, translated in several languages, makes very clearly the fundamental differences between constructive capitalism and financial speculative capitalism. Shortly said, the constructive capitalism is working on long term and has a social dimension, while its opposite, the speculative financial capitalism, is only working at short term and has absolutely no social dimension. In his research, the author of this book discovered that the constructive capitalism was more or less functioning in speaking German countries, in the Benelux and in Scandinavia. The reason why he gave the name of Rhineland model to his discovery. Action 1. I suggest you strongly to purchase this book named Capitalism Against Capitalism, written by Michel Albert. The second element of my basic trilogy is based on a long-term historical fact, the Hanseatic League, and more precisely on its actual revival. Indeed, in 1980, a group of all Dutch Hanseatic cities decided to restart the Hanseatic spirit. They became, after 40 years, a very flourishing association of about 200 cities in 15 lands of Northern Europe. They organize each year an Hanseatic medieval market in a different city of the Hanseatic area. It just happened recently in Germany and will happen next year in Riga, the capital of Latvia, Letland. In 2022, it will be near Düsseldorf in Neuss, on the left bank of the Rhine. Action 2. I suggest you to visit their website, that is www.hanse.org, that also contains pages in English if you have some difficulty with the German language. And why not joining the next Hanseatic Days? The third element of my basic trilogy is rediscovering the local North European solar traditions and folklore that remained hidden behind the Christian spiritual varnish. I must admit that I come from a Flemish family of city port of Antwerp in Flanders, and already more than 100 years ago, the three cousins of my mother were named its spiritual and social difference from the conservative Catholics that was dominating Flanders in this past. Action 3. You will then not be surprised that the book I advise is A History of Pagan Europe, written by Prudence Jones and Nigel Pennick, that now also exists in French under the name of Une histoire de l'Europe païenne. This was an overview of my basic trilogy that guides me since a long time and that I now promote with this podcast. Ideas and collaboration are of course very welcome. This was André Hans von Bremen speaking from Antwerp for Radio Nordlandia. Bye bye.